African Americans were sort of taught or told that just being black or having any African ancestry meant that you were endemically a slave forever. That
African American history started with slavery, and that before they were slaves, they didn't really do too much in Africa. They didn't really talk about the tribes and the history, how rich it was and culture. It was just like slave to slave, slave, slave. And that's y'all history. So passing that down, that mentality was very heartbreaking for a lot of people. And they had to build up strengths through character types that was built on division. Division and separations. Divisions and separations. And fear. Instead of welcoming arms and knowledge to build with each other and see what else is possible.
the African Americans were sort of taught or told that just being black or having any African ancestry meant that you were endemically a slave forever. That was not the case as much in the Caribbean or in Africa. Right. They knew they had a thousands-year-old culture on in these African countries to fall back on to say we're not endemically enslaved people. We don't come from slavery. Right. Whereas in America they tried to cut.
So that's the third one she mentioning. It's a group of Africans that know about their spirituality, their stories that their 20 times great grandma been passing down, grandpa's been passing down. So when somebody else tells them a story on this is how you've been in your history and what's in your genes, they're able to have something else to combat that. They're able to have their own history and memories. While it's two other groups of of Africans that went through something totally different, where their history was cut off. They was treated as disposable. They was treated as disposable, and that their history started only at a certain point to be relevant. And then when it comes to the Africans, that's even deeper, because then it goes back to what was going on with mixing with the indigenous cultures that were there. For the kids, the grandkids that was born in America to know who they really are. That they not just Africans, or that being just African wasn't a bad thing to begin with.